Okay, we're good to go.
All right.
Okay, so welcome, Donna Lee, to your Intuitive Heart podcast, and I appreciate you coming in. So,
Thanks for having me.
thank you. I want to talk first about how we met because it was very flukish. And I also want to talk about what I enjoy about you. Number one, it's that smile. So I'll give my perspective if you like, and then you can give your perspective. So I met Donna Lee totally by fluke through a friend of mine. This friend had been looking for, it's our friend Samantha. She had been looking, she found your artwork
Yes.
for a
Yes.
website, a program that she was developing for her school board. And I have to tell you, when she mentioned you, she said, Joe, like there's something about her. You look familial. It's all of that. The energy and the energy that came through the artwork. That's what struck her most.
Yes.
She suggested that I reach out to you. I actually creeped your IG page. I creeped your website and I was blown away. You can feel the energy that you put into this artwork. So it was a given. We had to meet. We met, I want to say like a week later in a park. And you waved me down. I was like, how did you know? But we were carrying food at the time. So how would you not know? Because we met for lunch.
That was my lunch.
Exactly. And I felt this incredible connection straight away, a sisterhood. It was a very grounding day, actually. And then the number of signs that came through. A dragonfly sat down to have lunch with us.
A couple of times.
A couple of times. Right? Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's my perspective. And I'm grateful to have met you. And I'm grateful to have you in my world now, because even though we don't chat all the time, you are somebody that brings joy, I think. You bring joy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, everything in the world is frequency and vibration.
Oh my gosh,
and
yes.
I have been calling this vibration for over a decade. So to see the universe just surprise me with some beautiful beings in my life who are of like minds, conscious minds, it's no surprise to me, if you know what I mean, right?
Yes.
Your world is unfolding. So I've come to a place in my life where I've decided that I'm going to dance with the universe. I'm going to allow the universe to surprise me, and be an advocate for that in life. Really not having the resistance, knowing who you are, and putting your intentions out into the world.
That's
right.
Amazing.
And one of my most heartfelt intentions was to meet women like yourself, right? So that we could be a supportive unit to one another, share each other's stories and experiences, and edify and lift each other up, especially for a time like this.
Now, yes.
Yes, with everything going on. We are the strengthening ones in the families. We are the pillars. I mean, historically, it's been that way, So it's time for us to really work with one another. And I feel that I'm in a very strong place in my life. I feel extremely grounded and focused in my intention in my work. And it's now time to make those links and reach other women and other men as well. I'm definitely grounded in both my God goddess energy, my masculine feminine energy. No matter how you put it, I'm balanced with
Excellent.
And I want to show others how to get that. So
that's perfect. That's a great segue, and I appreciate that, because I think so many people are trying to find that balance right now. So many I'm going to say so many women are trying to find that balance. Yes, men and women.
Yes.
But you did touch on this, where I think for women, it's tougher. Is it tougher? Can I say that it's more challenging for us because we are the pillars? We are trying to balance our home. We're trying to balance our workplace and then still remain true to ourselves. Right?
Exactly.
Try to remain, try to have that balance. So this is something that I have always, I'm going to say I've struggled with. I tried to make a vow to myself to say that I wasn't going to be that mom who gave everything to herself and to her family. And we all know what happens when your family leaves the nest. You are left to kind of study yourself and say, who am I? So I have really worked to maintain that, that balance and knowing of who I am. Mm-hmm. But it is challenging. So tell me, so I'm going to say that Donna Lee is a high priestess. You graduated in 2019. And you say that this has opened another level of creation for you, being this divine priestess. And
yes.
Tell us about that.
So, went through a course last year with the Oracle, Miss Blue, who runs a radio show called The Remix, Friday nights at 10, Sunday nights at 10. But I've been a part of the Remix, Planet Remix, we call it. We've been a part of that world for over a decade now.
Okay.
And the reason I even, again, just like meeting you, was that same kind of energy, putting out that intention to really want to understand who I am creatively. So, the journey really did begin there. And she's just been a wonderful inspiration to show me how to connect to my energetic self, right?
Yes.
I feel that we've been living a life where we have a physical existence, but we also have an energetic existence as well. And we haven't really put a lot of energy towards that. And I recognize in a time such as now, when you're talking about, is it harder on women? Well, if you're raising children and you're going through this, you're also, experiencing it yourself, and we're all 6 feet apart in distance. And
yes.
people are dealing with themselves for the first time in a long time.
Yes.
So as you said, as a mother, I've been giving all my energy to the children and my husband and making sure everything's balanced in the house. But who's there to balance me? Right? Yeah. I kind of look at it like when they say on the airplane, you got to put that mask on for yourself first before you can help the children. Because if you're fumbling and you can't breathe, how can you help the children? Right?
We always say this.
You've got to be a pillar of strength first. So what I do is a reminder, right, of self-love, self-care, self-trust, right, self-belief, who you are. Maybe you need to reconnect to who that person is. So my artwork is a tool to assist people to amplify themselves in seeking themselves.
That's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. So I create divine representations of cosmic forces. And I call it transcendental artwork because it doesn't sit within the matrix of what we see with our eyes. I'm connected to my inner sight. I'm connected to my higher self.
Your higher self.
So
you're doing these.
So I believe I can assist people to bridge into connecting to their own higher selves, and by creating that dialogue with my artwork. So did that help to answer that question?
It does, absolutely. So this is actually what I want to talk about too, right? This is probably there's going to be lots of little tidbits, I suspect, coming through this, but how that art, the transcendental art, how does it help heal others? How does it help bring that self-care, that knowing, that overstanding, as I love to hear you say, to those, to others. So I want to, and so this is really challenging for people. So I will ask them to, we want to go to your website, and we also want to go to your, be able to go to your IG page. So when you see these things, because it's very hard to describe, the one thing that I like, when we met, you brought your,
star seeds.
Your star seeds.
Yeah.
So
beautiful magic star seeds. These little babies right
there.
Stunning. And you'll see some images of them on the back wall too.
Right.
On the back wall is a vibrational piece and we'll talk about this later.
Okay.
it's a grounding piece for when you come in your home. It's a state of being, right?
Okay.
It's called the mothership. We don't want to bring all the energy from the outside into our homes, and because it's COVID, we need to feel blessed
Yes.
and anchored in our home. So I'm creating some anchoring work right now, but all kinds of stuff that we can get into. But yes, so we met, and these babies right here are the magic star seeds. This is the divine feminine, number 13, which is that divine feminine energy, but always in balance with the masculine and the feminine. I say feminine energy because feminine energy is creation energy.
Yes.
It's the woman who gives birth.
Gives life to, absolutely.
Right. So that's why I'm using this. They can work both for men and for women. We have both masculine and feminine within us. So we just have to remember that, right? I'm not trying to make any separations there.
No. You're right. Without one, you can't have the other. There isn't the
other.
Exactly. Okay. So I understand this. Can you explain it though? What message? How do you know what message needs to be conveyed?
There's an original intention. I've created that already.
Okay.
So those who encounter me, and it's no different than how you and I found each other, right? I've created a magnet out of myself.
Okay.
My artwork seeks those who seek the grounding. This is universal.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is way bigger than me. I am the vessel of communication because I'm connected to my God goddess. So my work is to share that experience so others can see it's already in you. What I'm doing is unique onto me,
right,
and how I communicate it to you. But everything that I'm going to be discussing in my artwork, that is a reflection of me, is about my feelings. So I connect to people through feeling.
Okay.
So the initial intention in my work was a discussion about feeling. That's how it was created in the first place, right? These beautiful star seeds that I made came out of a day of sitting with clay and it molding itself within my hands. But where were my thoughts? My thoughts were on balance. My thoughts were on focus and intention. Yep. My thoughts were on my own inner healing, right? Yep. Where do I go for that? So my subconscious mind speaks to me through signs and symbols, as it does for everyone. It's just like when you dream, you're dreaming in those signs and symbols. So my sacred geometry, I realized, is the circle. And through that circle, there is higher levels of communication. So my divine priestesshood was to walk me through understanding what those levels of communication are.
Okay.
Numerology, Yep. Geometry. There's levels to it, Joanne, as you know. But it's intention. What I put out there is intention, and people magnetize to it because they are internally seeking it themselves.
That out. Okay. Yes. I understand that. It's the what is meant for you will find you kind of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. There are no mistakes. Right.
Agreed.
There are no mistakes as far as that's concerned. And I've just gotten to a place in my life where I'm looking to master that which I seek. Right. It's one of those things that I've got a little saying here. That which is likened to yourself is drawn. Right? So, I'm constantly being drawn to that grounding, that focus, that overstanding of what is my authentic blueprint? What can I share with the world? It's no different than a musician who makes music, and that music gives us that beautiful feeling.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Well, I would love for my artwork to do the same thing, but in a visual way, and connecting to a higher
Higher.
consciousness in you to assist you to move through to your own grounding and seeking of thyself. It's deep, right?
It is incredible. And there's so much going through my head. So,
Right? But it makes you ask questions. And that's what I want the work to do.
yes.
Open you up to be curious about yourself. That's when you really connect to universal energy. When you're seeking, when you're curious, ask the questions. Seek and ye shall find.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay. Yes.
This artwork has been about me seeking that. And the universe has been playing with me. And we've been creating beautiful artwork together and beautiful symphony. Like, to me, this is a symphony back here.
It's
right?
gorgeous. Yes.
Everything is vibration and frequency. You know, the color blue is a frequency. The color red
So
is a frequency.
can we dig into that deeper? Because now, and I think the way the world is right now, I feel like people are finally understanding that that we work on vibration. It's all about energy. It's all about, so we talk about, we talk about vibrating on a low frequency, vibrating on a higher frequency. How do we, so yes, this is the question that we need to know. How do we get to that higher frequency? How do we bring ourselves to, how do we elevate up to that higher frequency? For those who are, not familiar with it, for those who are kind of stuck in a low energy or a stagnant kind of energy, how can we help them to elevate to that higher vibration? What do they need to do? How do they do?
Well, there's so many distractions in the world right now, right? Oh, the COVID cases are going up, and television and especially the news portals just seem to be all bad news.
Yeah.
There's a level of sensationalism that is happening in the world, and it seems to be grabbing our attention in different ways.
Yes.
So we're distracted, right? From the main focus, which should be ourselves. So it just takes us further and further away, and that vibration lowers because of our sadness and our depression and what we're seeing with our eyes. Right? Now, what we see with our eyes, if we now start transforming that into thoughts as well, you're going to stay in that vibration of, numbers and COVID and death. So you're almost going to roll yourself into it.
Yes.
Is that really where you need to be? It's not really where you need to be.
Exactly.
So there needs to be a silencing of the noise. You need to be able to take that time just for you. Whether that's in the shower, right? And allowing that water to drip on you and saying to yourself, let me just drip away, right? The matrix energy outside, and let me renew myself in me. And then it's about listening, taking the time to stop in the silence. There's some real beauty in the silence, but we've allowed everything to be so loud around us that we've forgotten the beauty in the silence. And this is the way, right, that you can get back to connecting with yourself. You need to stop the noise. Stop the noise.
Agreed. Okay. So that makes sense to me. And I think everybody will understand that, to stop the noise. Yeah. So tune out that negativity, because it's going to bring you down. And I also want to talk about
ways of doing that, maybe.
Ways of doing that, and also how that negativity goes back into the universe. So the same way the positivity will go back into the universe. So, okay, let's talk about ways of doing that. I have, for me, one of those ways, it's movement. It's outside. It's music, meditation, journaling, which is a form of meditation.
Yes.
And yeah, pulling myself away. So we have a ravine in the back, and that's, I'm going to call it my church. It's my temple, to go sit there by the river and
Yes.
just listen to the water.
Yes.
I really
Oh,
envision the water, like you said it, taking my problems or those thoughts away. And as they take those thoughts away that aren't serving me, it's bringing me
yes.
new thought, right? So
Renew.
as absolutely. So that's how I release that for myself.
Yes.
So talk about that piece.
Talk about that piece by the river, right?
Yes.
I just hear it. I just hear it. So you're actually creating this beautiful visual,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now there's something important.
Right.
What visuals are we creating in our minds?
Yes.
Our subconscious mind doesn't know that the images that we're creating or the images that we allowed to be put in front of us
Mm-hmm.
are not really actually happening to us. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
So that beautiful scene down by the river, right? Taking those moments, that's going to give you a certain feeling. And that feeling is calmness, which pulls you into alignment with your true self,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Remember, we got frequency and vibration, but there's also feeling and emotion. This place is all about feelings and emotions. And if you don't have control of them,
Yeah.
they can spin you out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that you would want to go down to that river and just hear the babbling brook, you know what I mean? Of the water passing down, hear the birds, connect to nature for that grounding.
Mm-hmm.
And some people might say, well, I really don't like going down to the river. I'm not into journaling. Okay. I don't like writing and I don't read. Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. What I'm trying to say is still find a space. It could be an air conditioner on and you're just listening to the hum of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It could be the hum of the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is focus on one thing to allow your mind to clear.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can even hear your higher self.
Yes.
And some people were, well, okay, how about this, Joanne? Some people are like, well, what is higher self?
Yes.
How do I know when I'm connected to higher self?
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind doing a little experiment with me right now?
Oh, of course.
Show you
Let's
how to
go.
connect to higher self? Okay. So, you and I are just going to start saying the alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll start with the first 4 letters of the alphabet we're going to say out loud.
Okay.
The next 4, we're just going to say, but we're not going to use our lips.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. So in our heads, basically. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So the first 4 letters you and I will say out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to continue the alphabet from there. Okay?
Yep.
But not using your mouth, right?
Okay.
So go. A, B, C, D. Stop. Now let me ask you something. After D, who said E, F, G, H? Who said that in your head?
It didn't feel like me. Does that make sense?
Because it's your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
It's that voice. You didn't say it out loud, but did you hear the alphabet in your head?
I did hear the alphabet in my head. Yes.
Good. It's no different than when we're singing songs or we're having our own thoughts, or we're in a meeting at work and we're getting information and we're trying to calibrate it in our own minds so we know what our next step is in our day. That's a conversation. That's a relationship up there with your higher self. Right?
Yeah.
People aren't, a lot of people haven't connected to that.
So yes, that's a great point, because one of the things is, that I do is tarot, or, these intuitive readings. And one of my goals is actually to teach people how to read for themselves. Okay. So a lot of people will say, well, I throw cards down and I don't know if it's my voice. And this is where the confusion comes for a lot of people, right? They don't know if it's their voice
Exactly.
or it's the voice, I'm going to say, right? So they confuse it because there is a longing or a solution that they want. So they figure that they're kind of putting their schmutz on the answer.
Yes.
But I will tell them that that actually is your higher self. That
Exactly.
is the person, the spirit, the source that you're looking for. That is them speaking.
That's right.
So when you
That's
hear
right.
that, you actually need to trust that. So it really
Absolutely.
it does. It freaks people out when they're like, oh, did I really
Yeah.
hear that? Right? They don't understand. But absolutely, you fully did. So yeah, that's cool.
So I love to do that exercise. And that's an exercise that I use with children.
Mm.
So they understand, wow,
Mm. Yes.
that's my higher self.
Yes.
Right? Singing like, even if it's like happy birthday to you, you know, and then we
Yes.
have them singing it in their minds. Well, who's
Mm.
singing that?
Mm.
It's like, oh, because I didn't hear you say anything with your voice.
Right. Right. Right.
Right?
That's
So
amazing.
it can also work with human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell you something really, really important. When I do my workshops
Yes.
with my women, one of the things that I say, so that when we speak of these type of things that are energetic things outside of what you can see with your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
right? I always like to set a common ground.
Okay.
And it's something that another a spiritual healer online by the name of Dr. Ray Higgins introduced to me, and it's called circumference of awareness.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
can I share this with you?
Of course.
Okay, so picture a circle in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Joanne. Now, the space inside of this circle represents my realm of knowledge.
Okay.
Got that?
Mm-hmm.
All that I think I know about whatever I think I know
Mm-hmm.
is depicted right here within this circle.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
I must keep in mind that there is no more to know than what is within the circumference. Wait, I must keep in mind that there is more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness.
Okay. Got it.
Because you don't know what you don't
know.
know.
Yes.
And we have to admit that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do exercises like that, just to say, then who said that? Let's talk about it.
Right.
Let's talk about that energy and understand that that energy is like what you're saying. Source, give it a name. Source energy, your higher self. I'm just saying. It's connected to you. And it's what connects all of us on a universal level.
Yes.
So if we want to see healing in this world, it's that collective consciousness
Yes.
that must come into alignment.
Agreed.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
And again, this is what I do with my work. Assist people to connecting to what we could call the grid.
Yes.
Because, we humans, we need things to see to understand these larger.
Yes.
So if I say the grid, we can see that as electrical. Is everybody plugged in? Right? You might be plugged in, but are you tuned in?
Are you tuned in? And so many of us are plugged in. So many of us are plugged in.
But you're on somebody else's radio station.
Yes. I love it. Yes. You're not on your own wavelength. You're on someone else's wavelength.
Right?
Yeah.
Whose station you plugged into? Right? You better find your frequency and tune in.
Girl,
So
I love that.
to right? Do you see how I'm
Mm-hmm.
explaining it just to assist to say we need to vibrate at
Mm-hmm.
that same frequency, you know? So I know
Yes.
that my artwork is that tool to that will connect us, that will connect us all. So,
There is
anybody who has the
so
opportunity.
sorry, go ahead. You go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm just saying that, that's what we need to do. That's
Mm-hmm.
this is everything that I'm communicating to assist people to understand the importance of connecting to the living self
Yes.
within,
Yes.
the living
Mm-hmm.
energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a physical, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But there's an energetic.
Mm-hmm.
And it must be paid attention to, especially in a time like this.
I agree. We cannot get sucked in. And it's very easy to get sucked into that stuff. It's very easy um to fall into, well, it's to fall into that energy and start to question, well, maybe
Yeah.
this isn't the right way. Maybe this isn't, maybe this person is correct. And this is how I feel that yeah, this is where we lose connection with ourselves. So I agree with you fully. Turn that off. And yes, we can have opinions, but we really need to start operating on a higher level to
Yes.
collectively. It's Carl Jung. I fully believe in that philosophy that, that one ripple, what I do
Yes.
here is going to affect someone over um, on the East Coast or
Absolutely.
in Africa, in another continent, on another continent, whatever, in the universe. It's not just one person here and we stay in our own bubble. We now really have to try and work together to love one
Yes.
another, to overstand. And
Yeah.
and I again I really love that saying because um tell me how you came to that under overstand. I mean it's brilliant.
Overstand. I really came to that through the music of Bob Marley,
Okay. Ah, yes. Okay.
right?
This
His
makes
song
sense.
Natural Mystic. I
Mm,
wrote that down on a piece of paper years ago
mm,
as one of my questions. What does it mean there's a natural mystic blowing through the air?
mm,
And if you listen carefully, you will hear. What does that mean?
mm, mm-hmm.
So I had been seeking that answer for a very long time, absolutely experiencing it, living it, loving it, breathing it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that I have a overstanding
Mm,
because I stand in it.
mm, mm.
I feel it.
You feel it.
I
You
am no
are it.
longer,
Yes.
just
Mm-hmm.
like they say, Prince is the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is the music,
He is the music. Oof.
right?
Yeah.
So I know I am the art. Muhammad Ali, I am the greatest.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So, and we can be such a modest people at time too. You better overstand that you are the greatest. You can be. Are
Mm.
you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Yes.
operating at that level?
Yeah, not all the
Right?
time. Right? We're
Exactly.
not all the time.
And to be the best version of yourself, you must strive to operate
Mm.
in the best, you know what I'm saying? In the best
Yes.
energetic version of yourself as well.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
where all of your dreams will come true when you're staying in alignment with your authentic blueprint of
Mm.
you,
Mm. 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 Mm.
right? So, and trust me, as an artist, it's been very difficult for me. I'm growing up in an era where there's a master narrative of what art is, right?
Yes. Yes.
The Renaissance is only the Renaissance because of the artwork.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, the word Renaissance doesn't say anything. Renaissance, right? It was
No,
the art that
it
made
was
it
here.
the Renaissance,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It was that impression that was left on the people.
Mm-hmm.
And that has come through our Western society education.
Mm-hmm.
I realize, we all need to be creating our master narrative. We all have
Yes.
a different perspective. We all
Absolutely.
have ways of seeing. right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a way of seeing. And my hope is that you can feel me connecting to you as a level of consciousness, for you are a perfect reflection of me,
Mm. There's
right?
so
That's what
much
you and
in that little nugget that I don't, and I'm not even
yes, to
sure I can
dissect,
break,
right,
that I
Joanne?
can't even break that. There's so much in that that I'm not sure where to start to break that down. So, you know what? This is one that we are a reflection of one another.
We
We
absolutely are.
we really are, and it doesn't matter shade, race. We are a reflection of one another, and this isn't one of those things that we, huh?
And
You hear this all the
and I'm going
time.
to
So
move us.
if I see something in you that I don't like, it means that
Mhm.
there's something in myself that I don't like, right?
Right?
So what am I running from? What do I need to fix? What do I need to acknowledge? What do I need to recognize? So this is something that
Honest.
I'm really trying to do on a daily basis. If I'm
Mhm.
upset with someone or irritated with someone for a certain thing, why? Why is that? So I look at myself. There's something else that you said there that, geez, there was so much, Donna. That's the one that's the one that stuck out for myself, or for me. It was in the
Right? And there's
beginning.
always going to be those nuggets
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that stand out.
It
I'm a vessel,
was. It was. And here's that we all are. And I think
right?
we are here to teach each other. We are
That's it.
here to love one another. We are
That's it.
here to learn from one another.
This place is
And
all about lessons.
it's
All
all
about
about lessons.
lessons.
And what's
Yes.
really kind of, we're forgetting that, especially in this climate. So we have
Mhm.
Democrats against Republicans, liberals against conservatives up here. We have black against white, right against wrong, purple against pink. It's just, there's so
Goes
much.
on.
It
But
goes
check it.
on.
The
Mm.
way that you're saying that, now
Hmm.
think about this. It's all about contrast.
It's all about contrast. Yes.
The universe is just trying to get us all to see, look at everything that's happening around us.
Yes.
There's extreme ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm extreme white over here, I'm extreme black over here, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody's coming in the
In
middle.
the
You know
middle.
what I mean? So it's
And
about the contrast.
and understanding that this is understanding that contrast doesn't make them any more of a person or less of a person. It
Right.
just is. So
And it wants to get you right. It's choices.
how do you meet in the middle there? How do you meet in the
Okay.
middle?
So you meet in the middle by staying in alignment with
Mm.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This whole life and walking through it is about calibration.
Yes.
If you don't
Yes.
feel that you're calibrated to yourself, you're always going to have
Off
anxiety,
balance.
with
Exactly.
anxiety and I'm on pills and I can't sleep at night and I'm
Mm-hmm.
really having a hard time. That is because the world is making you vibrate out of alignment with
Yes.
yourself.
This
So
is what
that's
I
when I
see.
say,
This is what I see when I see people. And
right?
you talk about that anxiety that they have. So
Yes,
when I envision that with people, it is, I am being guided towards their core.
exactly.
Anytime I see that, it's this, they're vibrating at this
Wobbling,
level, right? Where their
wobbling.
core
Yes.
is not. So everything, these people are going to have headaches. They're going to have, um, like, how do you say, anxiety.
Palpitations. Yes.
They're, uh, come see their digestive systems are going to be off. Their sleeping habits, as you say, are going to be off. Everything's going to be off kilter because, as you say,
Mhm.
you're not aligned. I like to tell people that, that sense of restlessness that you're feeling means that on some
Yeah,
level, you're not doing what you need to be doing. So take a
definitely.
step back. On some level, you're not in alignment. So take a step back.
Definitely.
Um,
Def-
and
and here's
how do we do this?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a way to look at it, and here's some of the lessons from my priestesshood. Being a visual artist, color is going to be very important to
Mm,
me. So I've been able to learn now how I can use color in my creations and be deliberately creating to assist and heal energetically within the body.
That's
So
beautiful.
you talk about those who have anxiety, and you talked about an upset stomach. Well, isn't that interesting that down in the stomach area, it's our sacral chakra?
Yes. Yeah.
And that color is orange.
Yeah.
That's the area where we feel all of our nervousness, right? Our anxiety. It's also the area where we feel all of our joy.
Yes.
So you see where there's extreme contrast that can feel exactly the same coming from that area.
Yeah.
But the orange color will assist you to calm, as long as you have an overstanding of how you function energetically. So this is why through my artwork and the star seeds and having the orange star seeds was to bring up that dialogue about that nervousness that we have in our stomach. A lot of us as Black women have issues with fibroids.
Yes.
It's down in the same area. All of our worry, right?
Yeah,
all
we
of
hold
our
everything
anxiety,
there. Yes.
we hold everything there. Isn't that interesting to know that that's where our sacral chakra is? So the color orange is something that's going to be very healing. Okay.
Yeah.
So even just lessons like that, now you're starting to understand that you're an energetic body, right?
Yes.
And those colors flow through you. You know, if blue is a frequency and orange is a frequency, what's that frequency doing in me?
In me. Yes, absolutely.
Right? As above, so below, as within, so without. Right?
Yeah.
So we have to remember, oh, here's another wonderful, when I think of that, I have another wonderful little saying here that I always say, law of attraction. Our inner reality will always shape our outer experiences.
Yes.
Yes. So if you're always full of anxiety, guess what your life is going to look like on the day-to-day?
Yes. Full of anxiety, full of yes.
That's where you're at. That's where your thoughts are at. I'm worrying, I'm this, I'm that, right? So we really have to understand that in order to control that and to master that, right? We have to change our thoughts, right?
Yes.
And pull ourselves out of those situations. And it's going to take work. And Joanne, this is the one issue with a lot of people. They're not willing to do
the work because it's too hard. Or
so you will stay there sitting on the fence, not making the right decisions in your life. And not a lot's going to change. So you can't be upset, you know, and social media is not helping. You know, people are on social media and, well, look what she has, look what they have, look what do I have? I have nothing. Right? So where are our thoughts?
Yeah, it's outward. It's outward. There's this comparison. And so, there's so much there. You can't appreciate what you have if you're constantly looking at what others have. And if you can't appreciate what you have by looking at others, you're never going to have that sense of settlement. You're not going to have that sense of peace,
right?
Because you're striving for something else where it might very well be right in front of you. It might very well be right there. Hold on one second, Donna.
Yes.
Okay.